Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor, and this presentation is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The information provided in this video does not constitute financial, legal, or professional advice. You should always consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decisions. Credit cards involve risk, and it's crucial to use them responsibly and pay your balance in full each month to avoid interest charges. Picture this. You're standing at the airport check-in counter, ready for that vacation you've been planning for months. The agent gives you a tight smile and says, "That'll be $60 for your checked bag, sir." You sigh, pull out your debit card and tap to pay, feeling that familiar little sting of an extra fee. But then you notice the family next to you. They slide a specific, metallic-looking credit card across the counter. The agent nods, types something into the computer and says, "Your 2 checked bags are complimentary. Enjoy your flight." They didn't pay a dime. Later, as you're making your way to seat 28B, wedged between a snoring businessman and a kid playing games on a tablet at full volume, you see that same family settling into the extra legroom seats at the front of the cabin. They got a free upgrade. And as the flight attendant comes by, they get a complimentary drink too. What was the difference between you and them? It wasn't luck. It wasn't because they're travel agents or secret VIPs. The difference was the small piece of plastic in their wallet. And that small difference is costing the average American hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every single year. You are likely leaving a free vacation on the table, and you don't even know it. The world of travel credit cards feels complicated, right? It's a maze of annual fees, point valuations, transfer partners, and sign-up bonuses designed to be confusing. You hear about people flying first class to Japan for $11 and you think, that's impossible. That's a scam. That's only for super rich people who spend $50,000 a month. And so, you stick with your debit card or your simple cashback card because it feels safe, feels easy. But what if I told you that for the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain on this entire industry? We are going to demystify it completely. By the end of this video, you will know with 100% certainty whether a travel credit card is a brilliant financial tool for you or a dangerous trap you should avoid at all costs. You'll understand the exact questions to ask yourself to find the perfect card for your spending or to confidently decide you don't need one at all. We are going to turn confusion into clarity, and we're going to do it right now. First, let's obliterate the biggest myth right out of the gate. The myth that travel cards are only for the wealthy or for people who are constantly on a plane for work. This is the single biggest lie the industry loves to let people believe. Let's talk about a real American family. Let's call them the Millers. They live in Ohio. They take one big vacation a year to Florida to see the grandparents, and maybe one smaller weekend trip. They are not jet-setting influencers. They are regular people. They spend about $2,000 a month on groceries, gas, utilities, and the occasional dinner out. They believe a travel card with a $95 annual fee is a waste of money. They couldn't be more wrong. That one yearly flight to Florida for their family of 4 costs them $240 in round-trip checked bag fees alone. A $95 airline credit card would have made those bags free. Instantly, they're not just saving $95, they're profiting $145. That's before we even talk about the points they'd earn on their everyday spending, points that could pay for an entire flight for their next trip. Suddenly, that annual fee doesn't look like a cost. It looks like an investment with a 150% return. This isn't a game for the 1%. This is a game of simple math that millions of Americans are failing because no one ever explained the rules. To understand the rules, you have to understand that there are really only 2 main types of travel credit cards. Think of it as 2 parallel universes. Once you see it this way, everything becomes simpler. Universe number 1 is the world of co-branded cards. These are the cards that have an airline or a hotel name right on the front. The Delta SkyMiles American Express, the United Explorer card from Chase, the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card. They are built for one thing and one thing only: loyalty. They want you to fly exclusively with their airline or stay exclusively at their hotels. In exchange for your loyalty, they give you specific powerful perks that make traveling with that brand way better. The most obvious and valuable perk, as we saw with the Millers, is the free checked bag. Almost every major U.S. airline co-branded card offers at least one free checked bag for you, and sometimes for multiple companions on your same reservation. A round-trip checked bag costs about $60 to $70. If you're a family of 4, one single round-trip flight means you're avoiding $240 in fees. The card, which typically has a $99 or $95 annual fee, has paid for itself nearly 3 times over in just one trip. If you fly that airline just once a year with one travel partner, the card is a financial no-brainer. But it gets better. These cards also give you priority boarding. This isn't just about feeling important. This is about getting on the plane while there is still overhead bin space. How many times have you been the last group to board, only to find every single bin is full, and you have to gate check your carry-on? It's a massive headache. Priority boarding solves that problem forever. And then there are the brand-specific perks. Hotel cards, for example, often give you a free night certificate every single year you renew the card. The Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card, for instance, has a $95 annual fee, but it gives you a certificate for a free night at a hotel that could easily cost $150, $200, or even $250. Again, you are literally being paid to keep the card in your wallet. Some cards give you automatic elite status, which can mean room upgrades, late checkout, and free breakfast. Airline cards can offer discounts on in-flight food and drink purchases. These aren't abstract points we're talking about. These are tangible, real dollar savings and quality of life improvements that make the entire travel experience less stressful and more enjoyable. So, if you are a loyalist, if you live near a United hub like Denver or a Delta hub like Atlanta and you fly that airline 90% of the time, a co-branded card is often an absolute slam dunk. The value you get from the perks alone can dwarf the annual fee, making it one of the best deals in personal finance. However, this universe comes with a dark side. It's called the loyalty trap. By getting a Delta card, you are incentivized to only fly Delta. But what if Southwest has a flight to your destination that's $200 cheaper? What if American has a non-stop route, and Delta only offers a terrible flight with a 6-hour layover? By tethering yourself to one brand, you lose flexibility. The points you earn, called miles, can only be used with that one airline. And airlines have complete control over how much those miles are worth. They can, and they do, devalue them overnight with no warning, making that flight to Hawaii you've been saving for suddenly require twice as many miles. You're playing in their sandbox by their rules. The perks are amazing, but the cost is freedom. You're locked in. This is where the second universe comes in. A world of freedom, flexibility, and massive point values. But it's also a world with its own rules, its own complexities, and its own traps. This is the world of transferable currencies, and it's where the real travel hacking magic happens. So what exactly are these transferable currencies? Think of them not as gift cards for a single store, but as a universal currency like a financial Swiss Army knife. Instead of being locked into one airline's frequent flyer program or one hotel's loyalty points, you earn points in a flexible, bank-run ecosystem. In the United States, there are 4 major players in this game. Chase has Ultimate Rewards. American Express has Membership Rewards. Capital One has its own miles program, and Citi has Thank You Points. These are the 4 pillars of the travel hacking world. When you use a card like a Chase Sapphire Preferred or an American Express Gold card, you're not earning Delta SkyMiles or Hilton Honors points directly. You're earning the bank's own points, which sit in a central account, waiting for your command. This is a critical distinction, because while you can often redeem these points for cashback or through the bank's own travel portal at a fixed rate, usually around 1 to 1.5 cents per point, that's like using a Formula One race car to go grocery shopping. You're missing the entire point of the machine. The real power, the secret sauce, lies in their name, transferable. Each of these bank programs has a list of partners, dozens of airline and hotel loyalty programs, that you can move your points to. For example, you can take your Chase Ultimate Rewards points and with a few clicks, turn them into United Mileage Plus miles, Southwest Rapid Rewards points, or World of Hyatt points. You can take your Amex Membership Rewards points and send them over to Delta SkyMiles, Air France/KLM's Flying Blue program, or Hilton Honors. Why is this so powerful? 2 reasons. Leverage and flexibility. Let's talk about leverage first, because this is where your jaw will hit the floor. This is how people fly in those $10,000 business class seats for pennies on the dollar. Let's walk through a real-world example. Imagine you want to fly from New York to Paris. You've saved up, you want to do it right, maybe for an anniversary. You look up a round-trip, lie-flat business class seat on a major airline. The cash price? A cool $6,000. Ouch. Now, let's say you have a simple cashback or fixed-value travel card. To cover that $6,000 flight, you would need 600,000 points if your points are worth 1 cent each. 600,000. That is an astronomical amount of points that would take the average person years, maybe even a decade, to earn. It feels completely unattainable, right? But you're smarter than that. You've been collecting American Express membership rewards points. You know that one of Amex's transfer partners is the airline Air France and their loyalty program, Flying Blue. So you go to the Air France website and you search for the same flight using points instead of cash. And you find something amazing. You find an award seat, the exact same lie-flat business class seat on the exact same plane, for 55,000 Flying Blue miles and about $200 in taxes and fees. Let that sink in. The airline is selling the same product, the same experience for two completely different prices. A cash price of $6,000 or a points price of 55,000 miles. This is the moment the game changes. You log into your American Express account, you select Transfer Points, choose Air France/KLM Flying Blue, and you transfer exactly 55,000 of your hard-earned points. The transfer is almost instantaneous. A few minutes later, you refresh your Flying Blue account and boom, the points are there. You book the flight, pay the $200 in taxes, and you have just booked a $6,000 experience. Let's do the math on that. We can calculate the value you got for each point, what we call cents per point. You got a $6,000 flight minus the $200 you paid in cash. That's $5,800 of value. Divide that by the 55,000 points you used. That comes out to over 10.5 cents per point. Remember the fixed value card? It got you 1 cent per point. By using a transferable currency, you just got over 10 times the value. 10 times. Instead of needing 600,000 points, you needed just 55,000. That is the power of leverage. You are leveraging the massive disconnect between the cash price of a ticket and the award price of a ticket. Airlines would much rather sell that seat for cash, so they price it high. But they also need to fill planes and reward loyal customers, so they offer award seats at a relatively fixed, and often incredibly low, points price. By transferring your bank points, you get to access that insider pricing. This isn't some rare one-in-a-million fluke. These opportunities, called sweet spot redemptions, are everywhere if you know where to look. Flying to Japan in business class on ANA for 90,000 Virgin Atlantic points transferred from Chase. Staying at a luxurious Park Hyatt in a city like Milan or Kyoto for 30,000 World of Hyatt points, also transferred from Chase, when cash rates are over $1,000 a night. These are the kinds of redemptions that turn a normal vacation into a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Now for the second reason this is so powerful: flexibility. When you collect miles directly with a single airline, say American Airlines, you are completely at their mercy. Your points are stuck in that one program. If American Airlines doesn't have any award seats available for the dates you want to fly, you're out of luck. If they decide overnight to double the number of miles needed for a flight to Hawaii, something called a devaluation, which happens all the time, your hard-earned points are suddenly worth half as much. You have no recourse. But when you hold transferable points, you hold the ultimate insurance policy. Let's go back to that Paris trip. What if you searched on Air France and found nothing? No problem. You could check another Amex partner like Delta, or maybe Avianca LifeMiles, which is a partner of Amex, Capital One, and Citi, and lets you book flights on partner airlines like United or Lufthansa. You have options. Dozens of them. You're not betting on a single company. You're diversified. You hold your points in the safe, stable environment of the bank's program until the very last second when you've found the exact flight or hotel you want to book. Then, and only then, do you transfer them and book your travel. This protects you from devaluations and dramatically increases your chances of finding an available seat. If United raises its prices, maybe a partner airline that also flies that route hasn't. If Hyatt is sold out, maybe you can transfer to Marriott instead. You are in control. You can shop around for the best deal, not with cash but with your points. This is the fundamental difference. A simple travel card gives you a rebate. A card that earns transferable points gives you access. It's the difference between getting a coupon in the mail and being handed a master key that opens dozens of doors, with incredible value hiding behind some of them. It requires a bit more knowledge, a bit more strategy. You have to learn which partners are good for which trips. But the payoff is monumental. It's the single biggest leap you can make in your ability to travel more, travel better, and pay significantly less. This system is the engine that drives the entire world of travel rewards. But to make this engine run, you need fuel. And that fuel is earned through the right credit cards, each designed to maximize the points you earn on every dollar you spend. The question is, which cards are the best fuel pumps? Let's break down those fuel pumps because they generally fall into three distinct categories. Understanding these three is the absolute key to figuring out if a travel card is right for you, and if so, which one. First, you have the co-branded airline cards. These are the cards you see advertised on the back of the seat in front of you when you fly. The Delta SkyMiles American Express card, the United Explorer card from Chase, the A-Advantage card from Citi. The concept is simple. A bank partners with a specific airline to offer a credit card that earns miles directly into that airline's loyalty program. Now, the immediate pro here is simplicity and perks tailored to that airline. If you live in Atlanta, a Delta hub, and you fly Delta 8 times a year for work, a Delta card can be a fantastic tool. Why? The biggest, most tangible benefit for the average person is the free checked bag. Let's do the math. Most airlines charge $35 for the first checked bag each way. That's $70 for a round trip. If you're traveling with a partner, that's $140. A family of 4? You're looking at $280 in bag fees for a single vacation. Most of these airline cards have an annual fee of around $95, but they give you and sometimes up to 8 people on your reservation a free first checked bag. On just one trip, a family of 4 has already saved $185, more than covering the card's annual fee. Fly twice a year and you're way ahead. These cards also offer perks like priority boarding, so you can get on the plane earlier and find space for your carry-on, and sometimes discounts on in-flight purchases. For the dedicated loyalist of a single airline, these cards offer clear, immediate, and easily calculated value. They are the specialists. The second category is the hotel co-branded card. It's the exact same concept as the airline card, but for hotels. Think the Marriott Bonvoy cards from Chase and American Express, or the World of Hyatt card, or the Hilton Honors cards. You spend on the card, and you earn points that go directly into your loyalty account with that hotel chain. The pros here are, again, very specific and very valuable if you're loyal to a brand. The number one perk, in my opinion, is the annual free night certificate. Many hotel cards with an annual fee around $95 to $150 will give you a certificate for a free night every single year you renew the card. This isn't a gimmick. This is a real free night, often valid at hotels that cost $200, $300, or even $400 a night. You're paying a $95 fee to get a $300 hotel room. That's a trade you should make every single day. The second major perk is automatic elite status. Normally, you'd have to stay dozens of nights in a hotel chain to earn status like gold or platinum. But these cards just give it to you. What does that mean? It means things like room upgrades, late checkout, bonus points on your stays, and sometimes free breakfast, which can save you $30 to $50 a day on a trip. If you find yourself consistently staying with Marriott or Hilton for work or family vacations, a hotel card can drastically improve your travel experience and save you a ton of money for a very low annual fee. But this brings us to the third, and for many people, the most powerful category of travel card, the flexible points card. These are the heavy hitters. These are the cards that aren't tied to a single airline or hotel. Instead, they earn points in the bank's own rewards program. You've heard of them. Chase has Ultimate Rewards. American Express has Membership Rewards. Capital One has Venture Miles, and Citi has Thank You Points. These are the 4 main currencies in the world of U.S. travel rewards. Think of it this way. An airline mile like a Delta SkyMile is like a gift card to the Delta store. It's great if you love shopping at Delta, but it's useless anywhere else. A hotel point like a Marriott Bonvoy point is a gift card to the Marriott store. Useful but limited. Flexible points from a bank are different. They are like a Visa gift card. You don't have to spend them at just one store. You have the power of choice. The superpower of these points is that they can be transferred to a long list of airline and hotel partners. For example, your Chase Ultimate Rewards points aren't stuck with Chase. You can send them over to become United Miles if you find a great flight on United. Or you can send them to become Hyatt points if you want to book a stay at a Park Hyatt. Or you can send them to British Airways or Southwest or Air France. You have options. This flexibility is a game changer for 2 huge reasons. First, it lets you shop around for the best deal. If you want to fly to Paris, you're not stuck with just one airline's award prices. You can check the price in miles on United, then check Air France, then check Virgin Atlantic, and then transfer your points to whichever program offers the best value. It puts you in the driver's seat. Second, and this is critical, it protects you from devaluation. Airlines and hotels can, and frequently do, change how much their points are worth overnight. One day a flight to Hawaii costs 30,000 miles. The next, they change their chart and it costs 45,000. If all your points are tied up with that one airline, you just lost a massive amount of value. But if you have flexible bank points, it's less of a problem. If United devalues its miles, fine. You'll just transfer your points to a different partner next time. You aren't held hostage by the decisions of a single company. So, we have the specialists, the airline and hotel cards that are great for loyalists who want specific perks. And we have the generalists, the flexible points cards, that offer incredible power and versatility for those who want to maximize the value of every point they earn. But there's one giant, overarching pro that applies to all three of these categories. The single biggest reason people get into this game. It is the great accelerator. I'm talking about the sign-up bonus. Also known as a welcome offer, the sign-up bonus is a huge chunk of points or miles that the bank gives you for getting a new card and meeting a certain spending requirement in a set amount of time, usually the first 3 to 6 months. You'll see offers like, earn 60,000 bonus points after you spend $4,000 on purchases in the first 3 months. Let's be clear. This is not about spending an extra $4,000 you wouldn't have otherwise spent. That's a trap. This is about channeling your normal, everyday spending through a new card for a short period of time. Your groceries, your gas, your cell phone bill, your insurance, your kids' daycare, all the things you're already paying for. By simply changing the method of payment for a few months, you can unlock a massive reward. And what does a bonus like 60,000 points actually get you? It's not some abstract number. 60,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points, for example, can be transferred to Southwest Airlines for potentially 2, maybe even 3 round-trip domestic flights. Transferred to World of Hyatt, it could be 2 free nights at a luxury resort in Mexico that would have cost you $1,000 in cash. 60,000 American Express points transferred to an airline partner could be enough for a one-way business class ticket to Europe, where you're lying flat in a seat that would have cost $5,000. This is the rocket fuel. While earning 1 or 2 points per dollar on your daily spending is great for the long term, the sign-up bonus is a massive, upfront injection of value that can single-handedly pay for an entire vacation. It's the closest thing to a free lunch that exists in the world of personal finance. And it's the most compelling argument for why, for many people, opening a travel credit card isn't just a good idea. It's a strategic financial move that unlocks experiences that might have otherwise felt out of reach. But of course there's a catch. There's always a catch. These rewards, these perks, this rocket fuel. It all comes at a price. And that price is often an annual fee. And let's be honest, that annual fee is the monster under the bed for most people. It's the big scary number that makes you close the browser tab and stick with your debit card. We're taught from a young age that paying a fee just to have a piece of plastic in your wallet is a bad deal. And in many cases, that's absolutely true. But with travel cards, you have to completely reframe how you think about that fee. It's not a charge. It's an investment. It's you paying a wholesale price for a package of benefits that, if purchased separately, would cost you exponentially more. Think about it. Airport lounge access, trip cancellation insurance, free checked bags, hotel room upgrades. These things aren't free. They have a real tangible cost. The card issuer, whether it's Chase, American Express, or Capital One, has to pay for them. The annual fee is simply your way of buying into their bulk discount. They're using their massive scale to get you lounge access for a fraction of the walk-up price, and they pass that value on to you, fronted by the fee. Now, these fees aren't one-size-fits-all. They exist on a spectrum, and understanding this spectrum is the key to figuring out if one is right for you. First, you have the no annual fee travel cards. Yes, they exist. These are the gateway drugs of the travel rewards world. They'll give you a taste of earning points or miles on your purchases, maybe offer no foreign transaction fees, which is a great perk on its own. But they're light on the big, valuable benefits. Think of them as the free sample at Costco. It's nice, it gives you a taste, but it's not the full, satisfying meal. They are fantastic for beginners, for students, or for anyone who is deeply allergic to the idea of a fee and travels internationally maybe once every few years. Then you have the mid-tier cards. This is the sweet spot for a huge number of Americans. We're talking cards that typically run from about $95 to $250 a year. And for that price, you start to get some seriously valuable perks. This is where you'll find the cards that offer a free checked bag for you and a companion on an airline. Let's do some quick, real-world math. A checked bag costs, let's say, $35 each way. If you and your partner take just one round-trip flight a year, that's 4 checked bags. 4 times 35 is $140. You've just paid for your $95 annual fee and put $45 back in your pocket. Everything else the card gives you, the points you earn, the travel protections, the occasional hotel credit, is pure profit. Many of these mid-tier cards also offer an anniversary bonus, like a free hotel night certificate that can easily be worth $150 or more. Again, use that one perk and your annual fee is completely erased. But then we get to the big leagues. The premium travel cards. These are the ones with the eye-watering annual fees that you see splashed across financial blogs. $450, $550, even close to $700 per year. And the natural human reaction to that is, absolutely not. No way. That is insane. I get it. It feels fundamentally wrong to pay that much for a credit card. But this is where the biggest mindset shift has to happen. A premium travel card is not a bill. It is a coupon book. A very, very valuable coupon book that you are choosing to purchase up front. And your only job is to use the coupons. The banks that issue these cards are making a bet. They are betting on your inertia. They are betting that you'll be seduced by the long list of luxury perks, pay the fee, and then be too busy or too forgetful to actually use them. If you do that, you lose. They win. But if you understand the game, if you treat that card like a checklist of value to be extracted, you can win and win big. Let's break down a typical hypothetical $695 premium card. The first thing you'll almost always see is a big, easy-to-use travel credit. Let's call it a $300 annual travel credit. This isn't a gimmick. It's a statement credit that automatically applies to purchases you make with airlines, hotels, trains, even rideshares like Uber. It's the bank literally handing you back $300 of your fee. So your effective annual fee just dropped from $695 to $395. We're just getting started. Next up, lounge access. These cards almost always come with a priority pass membership, giving you and a guest access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. What's the value of that? Well, a day pass to one of these lounges, if they even sell them, can cost $50 or more per person. Inside, you get free food, free drinks, free Wi-Fi, and a quiet place to escape the chaos of the main terminal. Let's say you're a moderate traveler. You and your partner take 2 round-trip flights a year. You use the lounge on the way out and on the way back each time. That's 4 lounge visits. For 2 people, that's 8 entries. 8 entries at $50 a pop is $400 in value. Your $395 effective fee is now -$5. You are already making money on this card, and we are still just scratching the surface. What else is in the coupon book? A fee credit for TSA PreCheck or global entry. That's a $100 value every 4 or 5 years. So let's add another $20 of value per year. Elite status at major hotel chains like Marriott and Hilton. This gets you perks like free room upgrades, late checkout, and often free breakfast. On a 5-night stay, free breakfast for 2 can easily save you $200. And we haven't even touched the insurances. Trip cancellation insurance, trip delay reimbursement, lost luggage coverage, and the big one, primary rental car insurance. If you rent cars even a few times a year, you know that the insurance the rental companies try to sell you can be $20 to $30 per day. A premium card that offers primary coverage means you can confidently decline that, saving you hundreds of dollars over the course of a year. If you have one canceled flight or one fender bender in a rental car, the value you get from these insurances can eclipse the annual fee 10 times over in a single incident. So when you add it all up, the travel credits, the lounge access, the hotel status, the insurances, that $695 sticker price doesn't just become manageable, it becomes a bargain. It becomes a clear and obvious financial win, if and only if you are the kind of person who will actually use these benefits. And that is the billion-dollar question you have to ask yourself. It's not about whether the card is good or bad. It's about whether it's good or bad for you. The coupon book is worthless if you never open it. If you fly once a year to visit your parents and you never check a bag, a $95 airline card is a waste of money. If you take a road trip every summer but never fly, a $700 premium card with lounge access is a financial trap. The banks are counting on this mismatch between the customer and the product. You have to do an honest self-assessment. Are you a road warrior who is in an airport every other week? For you, a premium card isn't a luxury. It's an essential piece of equipment that pays for itself many times over in both cash and comfort. Are you the annual vacationer who takes 1 or 2 big trips a year with the family? A mid-tier $95 card is likely your perfect match, saving you on baggage fees and giving you peace of mind. Or are you the hopeful traveler who dreams of seeing the world but, in reality, rarely leaves your home state? For you, the best travel card might be a no annual fee cashback card that lets you save up money that you can use for whatever you want, travel included. The annual fee isn't the enemy. The enemy is paying for value you don't use. Once you've done the math, once you've matched a card's benefits to your actual, real-life spending and travel habits, and you've determined that the value you get will exceed the fee, then you're ready to move forward. But there's another number on that card application, a much more dangerous one. It's a number that, if ignored, can turn this entire value proposition upside down, transforming your dream travel tool into a nightmare of debt. I'm talking, of course, about the APR, the annual percentage rate. The APR is the interest rate for a whole year, not just a monthly fee, and it's the price you pay for borrowing money from the bank. And on these premium travel rewards cards, that price is astronomically high. We're not talking about a mortgage rate of 6% or a car loan at 8%. We're talking about APRs that routinely soar past 20%, 25%, and sometimes even approach a staggering 30%. Think about that. For every $100 you fail to pay off, the bank can charge you up to $30 in interest over the course of a year. It is, without a doubt, one of the most expensive ways to borrow money in the modern world. And here's the insidious part. The banks know exactly what they're doing. They dangle the shiny object, the 100,000 bonus points, the free lounge access, the dream of a first-class flight to Tokyo, to get you in the door. They are marketing a lifestyle, a fantasy. And in the excitement of chasing that fantasy, it is dangerously easy to forget that you are playing a game where the house has engineered the rules to ensure it almost always wins. Let's create a character. We'll call him David. David is smart, he's got a good job, and he sees all his friends on Instagram posting pictures from Bali and Paris. He wants in. He does his research and finds the perfect card. A massive sign-up bonus, airport lounge access, and 3x points on dining. He gets approved instantly with a $10,000 credit limit. He feels a surge of validation. He's a savvy player in the travel game now. To hit the sign-up bonus, he needs to spend $4,000 in 3 months. Easy, he thinks. He puts all his regular expenses on the card: groceries, gas, his internet bill. But he also starts justifying little splurges. It's for the bonus, he tells himself. That new jacket? It helps him get closer to the goal. Those concert tickets? He's basically earning points to fly for free. That fancy dinner with friends where he picks up the tab? He's a hero and he's earning triple points. At the end of the 3 months, he's done it. He spent the $4,000. A few weeks later, a glorious 80,000 points land in his account. He feels like a king. He immediately starts planning a trip to Italy. The flight is covered by points. He's done it. He's hacked the system. But then the credit card statement arrives. After all the splurges, the total balance isn't $4,000. It's closer to $5,000. And after paying his rent and other bills, David realizes he doesn't have $5,000 in his checking account to pay it off completely. He has a choice. He can drain his emergency savings, or he can just pay the minimum payment. The statement says the minimum is only $100. $100, he thinks. That's nothing. I can totally handle that. I'll pay off the rest next month when I get my bonus. And right there, in that single moment of rationalization, the trap springs shut. Let's do the math that David didn't. He has a $5,000 balance on a card with a 25% APR. That's a pretty standard rate for a rewards card. A 25% annual rate is roughly 2.08% per month. So, in the first month, the bank calculates the interest on his $5,000 balance. That's 5,000 times 2.08%, which comes out to $104. Did you catch that? His minimum payment was $100. The interest charge for that month was $104. By paying the minimum, David didn't just fail to make progress, he actually went backwards. His new balance is now $5,004. He paid the bank $100 and his debt grew. This is the terrifying, soul-crushing power of compounding interest when it's working against you. It's a financial treadmill set on an incline, and every month you don't pay off the balance, the bank cranks up the speed. Now imagine David continues this. Maybe next month he pays a little more, say $200, but the interest is still piling up. He's paying hundreds of dollars every year, not for a flight, not for a hotel, not for a single enjoyable experience. He is paying the bank for the privilege of being in debt to them. His 80,000 free points are now the most expensive points he has ever acquired. The interest he's paying in just a few months will completely obliterate the cash value of that sign-up bonus. That free flight to Italy? After a year of carrying that balance, he will have paid the bank over $1,200 in interest alone, enough to have bought a round-trip ticket to Rome with cash and still have money left over. And he still has the $5,000 debt. He's trapped. The dream of being a savvy travel hacker has morphed into the nightmare of high-interest debt. The card that was supposed to enable his freedom has become his financial prison. This story isn't an exaggeration. It is the business model. Credit card companies are not travel agencies. They are lenders. They make billions of dollars a year from people just like David. They are betting that a significant portion of their customers will carry a balance, even just for a month or two. Because the moment you do, every single benefit of that card, the points, the miles, the perks, is instantly negated by the crushing weight of the APR. You cannot out-earn a 25% interest rate with 3% cash back. The math is not even close. It's like trying to fill a bathtub with a teaspoon while there's a fire hose draining it from the bottom. So this brings us to the most important question you have to ask yourself, and you need to be brutally, unflinchingly honest with your answer. Do you, under any circumstances, carry a balance on your credit cards? Do you sometimes find yourself only able to pay the minimum? Do you look at your statement and feel a pit in your stomach, promising yourself you'll pay it off next month? If the answer is yes, or even maybe, then I can tell you with 100% certainty, a premium travel credit card is not for you. It is not a tool. It is a weapon pointed directly at your financial future. The risk is simply not worth the reward. Your top priority shouldn't be earning a free flight to Hawaii. It should be getting to a place where you are paying off your credit card balance in full, every single month without fail. That is the golden rule. It is the only rule that matters. Pay it in full on time every time. Because if you don't adhere to that one, non-negotiable rule, the entire points and miles game is a dangerous illusion. A get-rich-quick scheme where you are the one who inevitably ends up paying the price. So let's say you're a financial rock star. You've mastered your budget. You pay your balance in full every month without fail. You've dodged the APR bullet. You're in the clear, right? You can finally enjoy those free flights and lounge access guilt-free. Well, not so fast. Because even if you never pay a single cent in interest, these companies have another way to get your money, a mandatory yearly tribute you pay just for the privilege of having that fancy metal card in your wallet. And for some cards, this fee is staggering. Let's talk about the annual fee. This is the cover charge for the exclusive club of travel rewards. It ranges from a comfortable $0 to a jaw-dropping figure that costs more than a domestic flight. And understanding this fee is the first and most important step in deciding if a travel card is right for you. First, you have your no annual fee cards. These are the gateway drug of the travel rewards world. They're safe, simple, and they won't cost you a dime to keep in your wallet. They'll earn you some points, maybe some cash back, and they're a fantastic way to build your credit history. But let's be honest, they're the equivalent of flying economy. They'll get you there, but without any of the frills. Their earning rates are usually lower, they rarely come with a big sign-up bonus, and most importantly, many of them will hit you with foreign transaction fees. That's a nasty little 3% tax on everything you buy abroad, which can completely wipe out any rewards you might be earning. So if you're planning on leaving the country, a no annual fee card often isn't the best tool for the job. This brings us to the next tier, the workhorses of the travel card world. These are your mid-range cards, typically with an annual fee between $50 and $250. The $95 a year card is the classic example. This is where the game starts to get interesting. For that $95, the floodgates open. Suddenly you're getting a massive sign-up bonus, maybe 60,000 points, which is enough for a round-trip flight to Europe if you play your cards right. Your earning rates get a boost, especially on things like travel and dining. And those pesky foreign transaction fees? Gone. For most Americans who take 1 or 2 vacations a year, this is the sweet spot. You pay $95, but you get a sign-up bonus worth over $600 in your first year. You save maybe $30 to $50 on foreign transaction fees on your trip to Mexico. You might even get a small perk like a $50 credit to use at a hotel. Do the math. In year 1, you're way ahead. In subsequent years, you just have to ask yourself, am I getting at least $95 of value from this card? If you're earning points and avoiding foreign transaction fees, the answer is almost always a resounding yes. This tier makes sense for the casual but intentional traveler. But then there's the top shelf. The premium cards. The ones with annual fees that start around $450 and climb to nearly $700 a year. Every single year. When you first hear that, it sounds like complete insanity. $700 for a piece of plastic? You could buy a whole new iPad for that. You could fly from New York to Los Angeles and back. Why on earth would anyone pay that much just for the privilege of spending their own money? It's a valid question, and the answer reveals the entire strategy behind the high-end travel card game. You have to stop thinking of it as a $700 fee. Instead, you have to think of it as a coupon book. These premium cards are not just about earning points. They are a bundle of credits, perks, and benefits designed to offset that massive fee. The card issuers are making a bet. They're betting that they can offer you $1,000 worth of value, knowing that the average busy person will only use about $400 worth, leaving the bank with a tidy profit. But if you are not the average person, if you are organized and strategic, you can flip the script and come out way ahead. Let's break down a hypothetical premium card with a $695 annual fee. First, they might give you a $300 annual travel credit. This is usually the easiest one to use. You book a flight, a hotel, a rental car directly through their travel portal, and poof, the first $300 are instantly credited back to your account. So right off the bat, your effective annual fee is now down to $395. Next, they'll throw in something more specific, like a $200 airline incidental fee credit. This is trickier. It doesn't cover airfare, but it covers things like checked bag fees, seat selection, or in-flight Wi-Fi. If you're a loyalist to one airline and you check bags, this is like free money. So, if you use this, your effective fee is now down to $195. But they're just getting started. How about a $240 digital entertainment credit? This comes in the form of $20 a month back on services you probably already pay for, like Netflix, Disney Plus, or the New York Times. If you're already spending that money, this is a direct $240 rebate over the course of the year. Now let's look at the math. We started at a $695 fee. We used the $300 travel credit, the $200 airline credit, and the $240 entertainment credit. Suddenly, you are not paying them. They are paying you $45 a year to keep their card. And we haven't even touched the main benefits yet. This is where the real luxury comes in. You get a credit for TSA PreCheck or global entry, which gets you through airport security and customs in minutes, not hours. That's $100 value every 4 years. You get automatic elite status at major hotel chains like Marriott and Hilton. This means free room upgrades, late checkout, and maybe even free breakfast, perks that can be worth hundreds of dollars on a single hotel stay. And the crown jewel, airport lounge access. This is the one benefit that can single-handedly justify the entire annual fee for a frequent traveler. Imagine this. You're at a chaotic, overcrowded airport. Every seat at the gate is taken, the Wi-Fi is slow, and a bottle of water costs $5. But because you have this card, you walk over to a quiet, frosted glass door, scan your card, and enter an oasis. Inside, there's comfortable seating, high-speed internet, and an open bar with premium drinks. There's a full buffet of hot food, snacks, and coffee. It's all complimentary. You can sit for hours, get work done, have a full meal and a couple of drinks, and not pay a single cent. A single visit to one of these lounges can easily be worth $50 to $100 per person. If you and a partner use a lounge on both legs of a round-trip flight, that's 4 visits. That's $200 to $400 in value right there, from just one trip. So, when you add it all up, the credits that reduce the fee to nothing, the elite status, the lounge access, these premium cards can provide thousands of dollars in value. But here's the giant, flashing, neon red warning sign. They only provide that value if you use the benefits. This is the catch. The whole system is built on a psychological principle called breakage. That's the industry term for the value of benefits that customers never actually redeem. The credit card company is betting on your inertia. They're betting you'll forget to use that monthly $10 Uber credit. They're betting you won't bother to figure out how to use the airline incidental credit. They're betting you'll think lounge access is cool, but you'll only use it once a year. Every unused credit is pure profit for them. So the question isn't, is the card worth it? The question is the card worth it for me? It requires an honest assessment of your actual life, not the life you see on Instagram. Do you travel enough to make lounge access a game changer? Are you organized enough to track monthly and annual credits? Does your home airport even have a lounge you can use? If you're a road warrior who spends half your life in airports, a premium card isn't a luxury. It's an essential piece of equipment that makes a grueling lifestyle more civilized and saves you a fortune. But if you take one big family trip a year to Disney World, that $700 card is an anchor that will drag your finances down. So you figured out if you can stomach the annual fee. You've done the math and decided a card is either a bargain or a ripoff. But we've only talked about the cost of entry. The real magic, the reason people obsess over these cards, isn't the free Uber rides or the lounge access. It's the currency they generate, a currency that can unlock a world of free travel. But not all points are created equal. In fact, some are nearly worthless while others are like digital gold. And understanding the difference is the key to flying first class for the price of coach. So let's break this down. In the world of travel rewards, there are two fundamental types of points, and thinking they're the same is like thinking a lottery ticket and a savings bond are the same thing. One offers a small guaranteed return. The other offers a chance at an astronomical jackpot. First, you have what are called fixed value points. Think of these as cash back in a travel-themed costume. Cards like the Capital One Venture or the Discover It Miles program are famous for this. When you spend $1, you earn, say, 2 miles. But here's the crucial part. Each one of those miles has a fixed, unchanging value, almost always 1 cent. So, 50,000 miles is worth exactly $500. Period. The way it works is simple. You book a flight or hotel with your card just like you normally would. Let's say you buy a $350 plane ticket on Delta's website. A few days later, you log into your credit card account, find that $350 charge, and click a button that says Redeem Miles. Poof! 35,000 of your miles disappear, and you get a $350 statement credit, effectively erasing the purchase. The upside here is a beautiful, blissful simplicity. There are no blackout dates. There are no award charts to study. There's no searching for special award availability. If you can buy the flight with money, you can erase it with your points. It's predictable, it's easy, and for many people it's good enough. It's a guaranteed return. It's the savings bond. But here's the catch. With fixed value points, you will never get a spectacular deal. That $350 flight will always cost you 35,000 miles. A $1,000 business class seat will always cost you 100,000 miles. And a $15,000 first class suite will always cost you a staggering 1.5 million miles. You get a solid, reliable value, but you're forever capped. You're playing checkers, not chess. Then, there's the other side. The digital gold. These are called transferable points. And this, right here, is the secret language of the entire travel hacking world. These are the points earned by cards in the Big Four ecosystems. Chase Ultimate Rewards, American Express Membership Rewards, Citi Thank You Points, and, confusingly, also Capital One, which plays in both sandboxes. These points are different. They don't have a fixed value. Instead, they act like a master key. They are a central currency that you can keep in your bank account, your Chase account, your Amex account, and then when you find the right deal, you can convert them into dozens of different airline miles or hotel points. Your 100,000 Amex points aren't just Amex points. They can become 100,000 Delta Sky Miles, or 100,000 Air Canada Aeroplan points, or 100,000 Hilton Honors points. You choose their destiny. Why is this so powerful? Because it lets you exploit a concept called award chart arbitrage. Every airline has its own price list for award tickets, called an award chart. And these price lists are often wildly different, even for the exact same flight on the exact same plane. Let me give you a concrete, mind-blowing example. Let's say you want to fly from New York to Tokyo in first class on Japan's premier airline, ANA. This isn't just a seat. It's a private suite in the sky with multi-course meals, vintage champagne, and a seat that turns into a fully flat bed with a mattress pad. It is an experience people save for years to have. The cash price for this round-trip ticket can easily be $18,000. Now, if you were using a simple fixed value card, that $18,000 ticket would cost you 1.8 million points. That is an insane amount of money to spend on a credit card. It's basically unattainable for 99.9% of people. But let's see what happens with transferable points. You might think, okay, I'll transfer my points to ANA's own mileage program. You could do that. It would cost you around 165,000 miles. That's a huge improvement. You just turned 165,000 points into an $18,000 ticket. That's a value of almost 11 cents per point. That is spectacular. But we can do even better. This is where the chess game begins. See, ANA is part of a group of airlines called the Star Alliance. And another airline in that alliance is Virgin Atlantic. For historical reasons and weird partnership quirks, Virgin Atlantic has a separate, and much better, award chart for booking flights on ANA. So here's the play. You earn points with your American Express Platinum or Gold card. You go to Virgin Atlantic's website and you find that exact same first-class seat on that exact same ANA flight. and you discover that Virgin Atlantic only charges 145,000 of its points for that round trip. So, you log into your Amex account, link your Virgin Atlantic account, and in a matter of seconds you transfer 145,000 of your membership rewards points over to Virgin. They instantly become Virgin points. You then book the $18,000 ticket. Let's just stop and process what just happened. With the simple card you needed 1.8 million points. With the advanced strategy you needed only 145,000. You used more than 12 times fewer points to book the exact same product. This is not a glitch. This is not a mistake. This is the game. You just turn each of your points into a value of over 12 cents. You didn't just get a discount. You unlocked an experience that was previously in a different financial universe. This is the lottery ticket hitting the jackpot. And this isn't some isolated, once-in-a-lifetime trick. This system of sweet spots is everywhere. Want to stay at a $1,500 a night Park Hyatt hotel in Paris or Sydney? You could use the Chase portal, where it might cost you 100,000 points per night. Or, you could transfer just 45,000 of those same Chase points directly to the World of Hyatt program and book it that way, more than doubling your value. Want to fly business class to Europe? You could transfer Amex points to Delta, where it might cost 300,000 miles. Or you could wait for a monthly promo reward from Air France's Flying Blue program and book a similar seat for as little as 50,000 points. The power is in the flexibility. By keeping your points as a transferable currency, you have dozens of options. You can wait for the best deal and then pounce. You're not locked into one airline or one hotel. You are a free agent able to take your business, your points, to whoever gives you the most value. But, and this is a massive but, this power comes at a cost. And that cost is complexity. Finding these deals takes work, takes research. You have to learn about airline alliances, transfer partners, and how to search for elusive award availability. Those amazing first-class seats? Airlines only release a few of them for points bookings on any given flight. You have to be flexible with your dates and you have to hunt for them. And there's risk. The biggest risk is devaluation. An airline can change its award chart overnight, with no warning. That flight to Tokyo that costs 145,000 points today could cost 200,000 points tomorrow, and there's nothing you can do about it. Your points are a depreciating asset, which is why the mantra in this world is earn and burn, not earn and hoard. Furthermore, transfers are a one-way street. Once you move your Chase points to United Airlines, they are United miles forever. You can never change them back. So if you transfer them and then your plans change, or you can't find a flight you want, those points are now stuck with United, subject to their rules and their devaluations. So we have two paths. The simple path of fixed value points. Safe, easy, predictable, but with a low ceiling on value. It's a guaranteed 1 to 2% return on your spending. Then there's the complex path of transferable points. It requires effort, it carries risk, but it offers an almost unlimited ceiling. It's the path to turning your regular spending into truly extraordinary travel experiences that would otherwise be completely out of reach. There is no single right answer. The best card for a meticulous planner who loves research is going to be a terrible card for a busy parent who just wants to save a couple $100 on flights to see their family. So how do you choose? How do you know if you're the type of person who should be chasing that 12-cent per point redemption, or if you'd be happier with a simple 2% back on everything? It all comes down to your personal travel archetype. And in the next part, we're going to find out exactly which one you are. So let's figure it out. This isn't just some personality quiz. This is a diagnostic tool. Understanding your archetype is the single most important step in building a credit card strategy that actually serves you, instead of you serving it. As I describe these 4 common archetypes, be honest with yourself. Which one sounds the most like you? Because the right answer for one is the absolute wrong answer for another. First, we have the set it and forget it traveler. Your life is busy. You might be juggling a career, a family, a side hustle, or all 3. The idea of spending a Saturday afternoon researching airline transfer partners sounds about as appealing as a root canal. You value your time and your mental energy more than squeezing an extra half a cent out of a point. Your philosophy is simple: make it easy. You want a system that works in the background, rewarding you for your everyday spending without demanding you learn a new language of acronyms and award charts. You might take 1 or 2 nice vacations a year, maybe a few weekend trips, but you're not trying to build an empire of points. You just want a discount. You want to see the balance on your statement and think, great, that's $500 off our trip to Florida. Not, Okay, now I have to transfer these 60,000 points to a foreign airline's loyalty program, hope there's award availability on a partner flight, and book it over the phone with an agent who doesn't speak my language. For you, complexity is the enemy. The stress of managing a complex system would completely negate the value of any rewards you earn. You'd rather have a guaranteed 2% cashback than a potential 5% in points that you might never figure out how to use. If you've ever let points expire or used them for a toaster because it was the easiest option, you might be a set-it-and-forget-it traveler. Next up, a very different person. The aspirational maximizer. You've seen the videos. You've read the articles. You've seen the Instagram posts from a lie-flat seat, champagne in hand with the caption all on points. And a part of you thinks, I want that. I can do that. You're not afraid of a little bit of work. You're willing to learn the basics. You understand the concept of a sign-up bonus, and you're excited by the idea of traveling in a style you wouldn't normally pay cash for. The problem is, it can be overwhelming. You get your first big travel card, you hit the minimum spend, and suddenly you have 80,000 points sitting in your account. You log into the portal and it's a maze of options. Transfer partners, alliances, off-peak pricing. The initial excitement gives way to a kind of paralysis. The dream of that first-class flight to Tokyo feels just as far away as it did before, only now you feel a pressure to not mess it up. You're caught between the simplicity of cashback and the complex world of points hacking. You want the amazing results of the experts, but you don't necessarily want to become an expert yourself. You're looking for the 80-20 rule, the 20% of effort that will get you 80% of the results. You're willing to learn one system, like Chase to Hyatt, or how to leverage one airline's program, but you have no desire to have a spreadsheet tracking 5 different points currencies. If you dream of luxury travel but feel stuck on how to actually make it happen, you're probably an aspirational maximizer. Our third archetype is the domestic explorer. Your travel reality isn't Europe or Asia. It's visiting family in Chicago for the holidays. It's a road trip to the national parks out west. It's flying to Orlando for a conference or taking the kids to a soccer tournament in Dallas. You fly the same 1 or 2 airlines almost every time. Maybe you're in a Southwest city or a Delta hub. You tend to stay in the same family of hotels like Hilton or Marriott because they're consistent, reliable, and everywhere you need them to be. The abstract value of flexible points doesn't really appeal to you because you already know exactly how you're going to travel. The benefits that matter to you are concrete and immediate. A free checked bag for you and your family on every flight? That's real money back in your pocket right now. Getting the 4th or 5th night free on a hotel stay. That's a tangible, easy to understand value. You're less concerned with getting the absolute highest cents per point value, and more concerned with practical perks that make your actual travel cheaper and more comfortable. You hear the aspirational maximizers talking about flying Lufthansa first class, and it feels like they're living on another planet. Your goal isn't a once-in-a-lifetime luxury trip. It's making your 3 or 4 domestic trips per year significantly more affordable. If your travel map is mostly within the borders of the United States and you value loyalty and practical perks, you are almost certainly a domestic explorer. And finally, our 4th archetype, the hardcore points hacker. For you, this isn't just about saving money on a vacation. This is a game, and you are determined to win it. You don't just have 1 or 2 credit cards. You have a wallet full of them, each with a specific purpose. You have a card for dining, a card for groceries, a card for flights, and a card that gets you 5x on your internet bill. You have a spreadsheet. You track sign-up bonus dates, annual fee renewal dates, and the different transfer ratios for every single airline partner. You know what a sweet spot is, and you know that booking Iberia flights with Avios points to avoid fuel surcharges is a great deal. You get a genuine rush from finding a needle in a haystack award availability. Your friends and family come to you for advice, and you probably have a referral link ready to send them. You understand that the most valuable redemptions are almost never in the credit card's own travel portal. You're comfortable with complexity. In fact, you thrive on it because complexity is where the hidden value lies. You're willing to put in hours of research to turn 100,000 points into a $10,000 travel experience. For you, a travel credit card isn't a simple tool. It's a key to a parallel financial universe, and you are fluent in its language. If this sounds less like a chore and more like your favorite hobby, you are, without a doubt, a hardcore points hacker. So take a second. The set-it-and-forget-it traveler, the aspirational maximizer, the domestic explorer, and the hardcore points hacker. You should feel a natural pull towards one of these. That self-identification is the most critical piece of this entire puzzle. Because knowing who you are allows you to finally ignore all the noise that isn't meant for you. But it also highlights the single biggest mistake that you are most likely to make. Each archetype has a fatal flaw, a common trap they fall into that completely undermines their goals, costing them hundreds or even thousands of dollars in lost value or unnecessary stress. And in our final part, we're going to expose those traps one by one so you can finally build the perfect strategy for you. The first and most seductive trap is what I call the sign-up bonus siren song. This is the shiny object that pulls so many people off course. You see an offer. Spend $4,000 in 3 months and get 60,000 bonus points. Your brain lights up. 60,000 points. That's a free flight to Europe. So you sign up. You hit the minimum spend, maybe by buying things you didn't really need. You get the points. And it feels amazing. You got something for nothing. But then a few months later, another offer pops up. A different card, a different airline. Get 75,000 bonus miles. The siren song starts again. Before you know it, you're on a treadmill, constantly chasing the next bonus. You have a wallet thick with cards, each with a different set of rules, different earning categories, and maybe even an annual fee you forgot about. You're not building a strategy, you're just collecting. The problem is, this isn't a sustainable path to valuable travel. Your credit score takes a hit from all the new inquiries. You're stressed about meeting multiple minimum spends at once. And worst of all, your points are scattered across a dozen different programs like a handful of pennies in 10 different piggy banks. You have a little bit of value everywhere, but not enough concentrated value to book the amazing trip you actually want to take. You're rich in points but poor in possibility. You've become a collector of coupons, not a strategic traveler. The second trap is the polar opposite, but just as dangerous. Annual fee phobia. This is the unshakable belief that any credit card with an annual fee is automatically a scam. People see a $95 fee or worse, a $550 fee, and they run for the hills. They proudly declare, "I would never pay a bank to use my own money." And on the surface, it sounds logical. Why pay for something you can get for free? But this thinking is a classic case of being penny-wise and pound-foolish. Let's break it down with simple math. Imagine a premium travel card with a $550 annual fee. Scary, right? But let's look closer. That card might offer a $300 annual travel credit that's incredibly easy to use on flights or hotels. Instantly, your effective annual fee is down to $250. Now let's add the other perks. It gives you unlimited access to airport lounges, which would cost you $50 to $60 per visit otherwise. Use it just 5 times a year and you've already broken even. But it doesn't stop there. The card also gives you a fee credit for TSA PreCheck or global entry, saving you another $100. It provides trip delay and cancellation insurance that could save you thousands if something goes wrong. It offers elite hotel status that gets you free room upgrades and breakfast. When you add up the real, tangible monetary value of these benefits, that $550 fee doesn't just pay for itself, it can end up making you money. Meanwhile, the person with the free card is paying for their own lounge access, has no travel insurance, and is earning points at a much lower rate. They avoided the fee, but they lost out on $1,000 in value. The real scam isn't the annual fee. It's convincing yourself that a free card with minimal benefits is always the better deal. This leads us directly into the third major pitfall, the loyalty trap. This is when you handcuff yourself to a single brand. You get the Delta SkyMiles card, or the Marriott Bonvoy card because you flew with them once or stayed at their hotel and had a good experience. And the card is good. It gives you a free checked bag on Delta flights or a free night certificate at a Marriott hotel. The problem is, you've just painted yourself into a corner. Now every time you plan a trip, your first thought is, I have to fly Delta to use my free bag benefit. Or, I need to find a Marriott to use my points. You stop looking for the best deal, or the most convenient flight, or the most interesting hotel. You start making decisions based on the card in your wallet, not what's best for your trip. What if American Airlines has a direct flight for $200 less? What if there's a stunning boutique hotel that's cheaper and in a better location than the nearest Marriott? Too bad. You're trapped by your loyalty. You're so focused on maximizing the small perks of your co-branded card that you miss the massive savings and better experiences available elsewhere. The most powerful travel cards aren't tied to a single airline or hotel. They earn flexible, transferable points, like Chase Ultimate Rewards or American Express membership rewards, that can be sent to dozens of different airline and hotel partners. This is the key to ultimate freedom. It allows you to be a free agent, to always book the flight that makes the most sense and stay at the hotel that offers the best value, and then use your points to pay for it. Don't be a loyal customer. Be a smart traveler. The fourth trap is a psychological one, and it's a killer. It's the hoarder's dilemma. This is the person who has done everything right. They've picked a great card, they've earned a ton of points, 300,000, 500,000, maybe even 1,000,000 points. They have a mountain of travel currency, but they never spend it. They suffer from an extreme fear of making a bad redemption. They spend hours, days, weeks searching for the absolute perfect, most mathematically optimal way to use their points. They think, well, I could use them for this flight to Hawaii, but I'm only getting 1.5 cents per point in value. The blogs say I should be getting at least 2 cents. I'll wait for a better deal. So they wait, and they wait. They scroll through flight options, paralyzed by choice, always believing a better opportunity is just around the corner. They treat their points like a precious collection of Fabergés, too valuable to ever actually use. And then one morning they wake up, check their account, and the airline has devalued its points. Overnight, with no warning. That flight to Europe that used to cost 60,000 points now costs 80,000. Their entire stash of points just lost 25% of its value while they were sleeping. Points are not a savings account. They are a depreciating asset. Airlines and hotels can and will change the rules whenever they want. The single most important rule of the points and miles game is earn and burn. Your points have zero value until you redeem them for a ticket, for a hotel room, for an experience. Don't let the quest for the perfect redemption stop you from booking a great one. Finally, we have the fifth trap, which is perhaps the most common of all, the complication catastrophe. This is for the person who gets a top-tier travel card, pays the annual fee, and then does nothing. They get overwhelmed. They don't realize that to get that $300 travel credit, they have to first enroll in the benefit on the bank's website. They don't realize their Priority Pass lounge access requires a separate activation. They try to use their points and get frustrated by blackout dates or a clunky transfer process. They have this incredibly powerful tool in their wallet, but they haven't read the instruction manual. So the card just sits there, a $500 piece of plastic that does nothing but drain their bank account once a year. They end up resenting the card, feeling like they were tricked, and eventually cancel it, telling all their friends that travel cards are a ripoff. But the card wasn't the problem. The problem was underestimating the learning curve. These cards are not simple cashback cards. They are complex financial products with dozens of features. They require a small one-time investment of your attention to learn how the major benefits work. An hour of reading the welcome packet or watching a few tutorials can be the difference between losing hundreds of dollars and gaining thousands in value. The people who fail with these cards are the ones who expect the value to just magically appear without any effort. The people who succeed are the ones who treat it like a new skill, who take the time to understand the rules of the game so they can win it. These 5 traps, the bonus chasing, the fee phobia, brand loyalty, point hoarding, and a failure to engage with complexity, are the primary reasons why people fail to get massive value from travel rewards. But now you know. You can see the traps before you fall into them. And with this knowledge, you are ready to build a real, personalized strategy. You're ready to move beyond the simple question of should I get a travel card? And onto the much more powerful questions, which one? And in what order? Because the path for a solo backpacker is completely different from the path for a family of 4. And in our final, most important part, we're going to lay out those paths. We'll give you a simple step-by-step framework to identify your travel style and pinpoint the exact card that will unlock the most value for you. Right now, it's time to turn theory into action. Alright, let's break this down. The first step in choosing the right card is to stop looking at the cards and start looking at yourself. We need to define what kind of traveler you are, or what kind you realistically want to be in the next 18 to 24 months. I see most people falling into one of 4 main groups. See which one sounds most like you. First, we have the occasional vacationer. This is most of America. You take 1, maybe 2 big trips a year. It might be a flight to Florida to see family, a road trip to a national park, or a week at an all-inclusive in Mexico. Your goal isn't to hack the system for a round-the-world trip in first class. Your goal is to make your hard-earned vacation a little bit cheaper and a little bit nicer. For you, the complexity of transferable points and airline alliances is a headache you don't need. The high annual fees of premium cards are almost impossible to justify. Your best bet is a simple no annual fee or very low annual fee card. Think about a flat rate cashback card that gives you 2% back on everything. That's pure simple value you can use to pay for part of your flight, your hotel, or your gas. Or consider a card that offers boosted rewards on categories where you spend the most year-round, like groceries and dining. Cards like the Chase Freedom Unlimited or the Capital One Saver One Rewards are perfect examples. They earn valuable points that can be redeemed for cashback at a simple fixed rate. No fuss. You're not trying to optimize every last point. You're just getting a solid, reliable return on your everyday spending that directly subsidizes your annual getaway. For the occasional vacationer, simplicity is king. Next, we have the aspiring globetrotter. This is where the game starts to get interesting. You've been bitten by the travel bug. You're dreaming of seeing the Eiffel Tower, exploring the temples of Kyoto, or hiking in Patagonia. You travel a couple of times a year, and you're ready to dip your toes into international travel. You're willing to put in a little bit of effort to learn the basics of points and miles because you see the incredible potential. You want to fly in a lie-flat seat at least once in your life, without spending $10,000. For you, the mid-tier travel cards are your gateway. We're talking about the workhorses of the travel world, cards like the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Capital One Venture X. These cards typically have an annual fee under $100, or a higher fee that is almost completely offset by simple-to-use annual travel credits. The key feature you're looking for is the ability to transfer your points to airline and hotel partners. This is the secret sauce. This is how you turn 60,000 points, which might be worth $600 in cash, into a business class flight that would have cost you $4,000. These cards give you that flexibility. They also come with essential travel perks like no foreign transaction fees, primary rental car insurance, and trip delay reimbursement. They are the perfect training wheels for learning the points game, offering massive upside potential without the terrifying annual fee of a premium card. Third, we have the Road Warrior. You might travel for work, or you might just be a travel fanatic. You're in an airport at least once a month. You know your home airport's layout better than your local grocery store. For you, travel isn't a special occasion. It's a part of your routine. Your priorities are different. Efficiency, comfort, and loyalty are everything. You're not just trying to save money on a trip. You're trying to make the entire travel experience less stressful and more seamless. This is the audience for the premium travel cards. The American Express Platinum Card, the Chase Sapphire Reserve. We're also talking about the high-end, co-branded airline and hotel cards, like the Delta Reserve or the Hilton Aspire. Yes, the annual fees are steep, often over $500. But for the Road Warrior, they can be an absolute bargain. The value isn't just in the points. It's in the perks that solve your biggest travel pain points. It's the unlimited airport lounge access that gives you a quiet place to work and grab a free meal. It's the global entry or TSA pre-check credit that gets you through security in minutes. It's the automatic elite status with hotel chains and rental car companies that gets you room upgrades and better service. It's the top-tier travel insurance that has your back when flights are canceled. You travel enough that you will organically use these benefits, and the value you get from them will dwarf the annual fee. Finally, we have the digital nomad, or the long-term traveler. You're not just taking a vacation. You've made travel your lifestyle. You might be working remotely from coffee shops in Lisbon, or backpacking through Southeast Asia for 6 months. Your needs are unique. You're not optimizing for luxury perks as much as you're optimizing for practicality and robust safety nets. Your number one priority is a card with absolutely no foreign transaction fees, period. That's non-negotiable. You also need a card with broad international acceptance, which typically means a Visa or a MasterCard. But most importantly, you need to look at the fine print on the travel insurance. Does it cover extended trips? Does it have robust emergency medical and evacuation coverage? This is your primary safety net when you're thousands of miles from home. Cards like the Chase Sapphire Preferred or Reserve are still strong contenders here, but you might also consider a simpler card that just nails the basics. Furthermore, your strategy isn't just about a credit card. It's about pairing it with something like a Charles Schwab investor checking account, which gives you a debit card that reimburses all ATM fees worldwide. This is critical for getting local currency without getting destroyed by fees. For you, the credit card is a tool for safe, fee-free international spending, backed up by a debit card for essential cash access. So you've identified your archetype. Now what? Here's your 3-step action plan. Step 1. The honesty audit. Forget your travel dreams for a minute. Open up your bank and credit card statements for the last 6 to 12 months. Where does your money actually go? Be brutally honest. Are you spending $800 a month on groceries and $50 on dining? Then don't get a card that gives you 5x points on dining. Are you a die-hard Delta flyer out of Atlanta? Or do you just book the cheapest flight on Google Flights, regardless of the airline? Your actual, real-life spending and travel patterns must be the foundation of your decision. A credit card should reward your existing life, not force you into a new one. Step 2. Define your goal. Now bring the dreams back. But be specific. I want to travel more is not a goal. I want to fly 2 people from Chicago to Rome in economy class in the next 18 months is a goal. I want to stay for 5 nights at a Hyatt in Hawaii is a goal. Once you have a specific, tangible goal, you can work backwards. You can research which airline alliance best serves that route, or which hotel brand has the best properties at your destination. This tells you which points currency is most valuable to you. This step turns a vague desire into a concrete plan and prevents you from accumulating a pile of points you can't actually use for what you want. Step 3. The 2-perk litmus test. Once you've picked a card that aligns with your spending and your goals, perform this final test before you apply, especially if it has an annual fee. Can you, right now, name 2 specific, concrete perks or benefits on that card that you are at least 90% certain you will use in the first year? And will the value of those 2 things alone be greater than the annual fee? For example, with a $95 card, I will use the $50 annual hotel credit, and the trip delay insurance will give me peace of mind worth at least $45 on my one big trip. Or for a premium card, I will use the $300 travel credit, and I will use airport lounges at least 5 times, which I value at $50 a visit, so that's $250. If you have to struggle to name 2, or if your justifications sound like a fantasy, then it's not the right card for you at this moment. The benefits you pay for should be obvious and easy to use. So, do you really need a travel credit card? The answer isn't a simple yes or no. For the person who carries a balance, the answer is an emphatic no. For the person who travels once every 5 years, probably not. But for millions of Americans, the right travel card isn't just a piece of plastic. It's a key. It's a tool that, when used responsibly, can systematically lower the cost of travel, enhance the experience, and open up a world of possibilities that might have felt out of reach. It's about turning your everyday expenses, your groceries, your gas, your bills, into the flight that takes you to see your family, the hotel room for your anniversary, or the business class seat that lets you start your vacation the moment you leave the ground. The choice isn't about hype or status. It's a personal finance decision. Be honest about your habits, be clear about your goals, and choose the tool that will best help you build the life you want to live. Because in the end, the memories you create and the experiences you have will always be your most valuable assets.